Alright guys, welcome back to the next episode on this tier list series that we are going to be going over every single typing on Pokemon Go and seeing what is the best Pokemon for DPS, and then also this is for raids and PvP for Pokemon Go. Now this typing is probably my favourite typing of all within Pokemon, and that is Dragon. Kind of like everyone else, it has just been OP from the get-go, and it's still OP to this day. So currently there are a lot of megas in this category. So you have Mega Salamence, Mega Latios, Mega Latias, Mega Charizard. You've then got Mega Altaria, Mega Ampharos, and then you've also got the ones that aren't here yet: Mega Garchomp, Mega Rayquaza, and then Origin Form Palkia, Origin Form Dialga. There is a lot of Dragon types to go over here, and then you've also got the extra forms, which will count like Megas, so you're going to have Black and White Kyurem. You know, there's so much to speak about. Obviously, we're not going to go over Pokemon that haven't been released yet in this video because they are not out at the time. However, when these do come out, there will be an updated video coming out, so there will be more and more of these as the game grows bigger and bigger. So, let's talk about the best Pokemon in this typing. Obviously, as you can see from the list on the video at the moment, it is Mega Salamence with the move Dragon Tail and Outrage. This Pokemon is not only the best for DPS, but it also has the best survivability within raids and PvP. So it wipes in raids. It's stupid. It's above Shadow Salamence, which used to be the best Dragon type Pokemon you can use in raids. Just due to the amount of power it brings. Like, Shadow Salamence does more damage than Mega Charizard X. Like, that's outrageous. Then second, I'm going to put these two together because they are kind of the same. You've got Mega Latias, who does have a better attack stat than Mega Latias, which does need Dragon Breath and Dragon Claw. And then you do have Mega Latias at Dragon Breath and Outrage. These two are a lot harder to get hold of. They've only been around twice, and the fact that you have to have a large group of users to get these Pokemon down, they are quite not exclusive, but if you didn't have the people around your area, you were kind of screwed. Then you've got Mega Charizard X, which is what most people will use for a Mega, that or Salamence. Due to the fact that Charizard has been around since day one, most people will have a 100% Charmander or a very good Charmander. Obviously, this Mega Charizard X does need Dragon Breath and Dragon Claw. And then, obviously, you've got Mega Altaria, which is just below here. There you go. That has Dragon Breath and Dragon Pulse. However, it is quite far below some of the other Pokemon on this list. So, let's move on to Shadow Pokemon. So, on here, I'm not going to go over Shadow Garchomp, because Shadow Garchomp is not out as far as I'm aware. So, we do have in this list, you've got Shadow Salamence with the move Dragon Tail, Outrage. This is going to be the best Pokemon you can have in your team that isn't a Mega to do the top damage to raids. However, due to its quad weak to ice, you are risking it with survivability. But most of the time that won't matter. You'll be doing that much damage, you won't care. Second, you do have Dragonite. Shadow Dragonite with Dragon Tail and Outrage. Same thing as Shadow Salamence. It's quad weak to ice. However, it does do a lot of damage. Now, these two Pokemon are very good. Obviously, they have a kind of similar attack stat when taken down. However, like you see there, Garchomp does just outdo Dragonite. However, both Salamence and Dragonite outdo a Shadow Legendary, which is Shadow Latios. Now, Shadow Latios does have Dragon Breath and Dragon Claw. However, you're most likely going to go with a Salamence or Dragonite due to the amount of candy you can have for these Pokemon, because they have both had comm days, and if you've been playing from the start, you will have so much candy for these, you'll just be able to max them out as soon as you get them. Shadow Latias, by the way, is all the way down here. Like, that's how bad Shadow Latias was. If you used your... oh, sorry. Click that one. If you did use your Passanat, I do apologise in advance, because this Pokemon is worthless. Like, the amount of Pokemon that are above it, there's just no point to having it. Alright guys, let's move on to the best normal type Pokemon in this grouping, and that is Rayquaza. Rayquaza does have the move Dragon Tail and Outrage to do a high amount of damage. Soon, this Pokemon will be, I reckon, top of this list. Mega Rayquaza will be outrageous, and if they bring out a Shadow Rayquaza, it's going to be top. I reckon above Mega Latios. That's how much damage this is going to do, and potentially higher than Mega Salamence. Its survivability will go down due to the same typing as Salamence and Dragonite. However, due to the amount of damage it'll be able to do, you should be okay. And then, just slightly under that, you do have Salamence with Dragon Tail and Outrage, which this is most likely the Pokemon you're going to use, because you can max it out quite well. It has had a comm day in the past. It's had a classic, not classic, the comm day at the end of the year, which does last year's one from Raids. You can get a lot of them. So Salamence has had a lot of play recently and is in most of the big events during the year. And so some of the Pokemon that have come back recently, you've got Zekrom and Reshiram here. Very good Pokemon. Obviously they did come back with their signature moves, which are the typing of Electric and Fire. However, they are good Pokemon to have in your team as a normal Pokemon if you don't have the Shadow variants of Dragonite and Salamence. They are quite hard to get hold of, so having these other Pokemon are decent enough. Then you do have Garchomp, Palkia, Dragonite and Dialga. These are all kind of in the same tier. They're okay. They're a good second choice. However, most people will be using all these up here. Kyurem recently did have a reboot with its signature move. However, that is an Ice type move, so it hasn't changed on this tier list at all. So, the way I'm changing this video up, as you probably noticed, that I have gone through them quite fast. And there's a reason. I want to go over each, I want to go over the best Pokemon in each one. So, we're going to go over Mega Salamence. We're going to go over Shadow Salamence. And then we're also going to go over Rayquaza. So, let me just do something here. Will be a bit weird, I do apologise, but let's just move these over to here, like so. I am changing this on the fly, I do apologise. So, Mega Salamence, max CP of 5,688 with an attack stat of 310, defense of 251 and a stamina of 216. A very, very, very good Pokemon to have in your party. I do have actually 3 maxed out Mega Salamances. So, it's really worth it if you had 3 of them to go in at least Mega or 3, and then look at your maxes later, because you're going to do so much damage with these, and also having that extra candy and XL candy chance. In major events, you are going to fly through Dragon type candy, and that is always a great thing. Now, the unfortunate thing about Salamence is its dual weakness to Ice, which I have mentioned previous. And it also has a few more weaknesses, which is Rock, Fairy, and Dragon. However, because of this, it has a lot of weaknesses. Resistances. So if you look at the resistances type here, you will see that it has 6 resistances, and 2 of them are double, which is ground and grass. So right here is a perfect, it counteracts the ice one. So if you're versing one of these Pokemon that it's double resistance to, you are sorted. No worries whatsoever. So let's move on to the movesets you could have. Obviously, Salamence is good due to its moveset from a legacy move from the comm day, which I believe is the Outrage. Let's just have a look quickly. So I just checked, and basically Outrage is the comm day move for this. So unfortunately, unless you're going to Elite TM it, which I wouldn't do, I'd wait for it to be out again. You are unfortunately going to have to stick with Draco Meteor, but as you can see here, it's not that different. It's a very close matchup. I think the charge time is different for Draco Meteor, but that's not a problem at all for anyone. So let's move on to, sorry, I'm going to do it here because it's right here, but let's move on to Shadow Salamence. Now, Shadow Salamence will be exactly the same as Mega Salamence. Same movesets. Obviously, the attack will be different, which we will go over. But same resistances, same attacks. So, max CP of 4,239 with an attack stat of 277, defense stat of 168, and a stamina of 216. Now, Dragon Tail and Draco Meteor are way down here for this, and there is a reason for this. So this system, this tier list, is based on both survivability and DPS to get an overall timing of how long that would take to deal off, and due to that, it's not as fast and will not survive to do as many as it should. However, I still think it is a valid point to say you can go Draco Meteor and it won't affect you that much in your damage output in raids. But, like I said, if you are going Shadow, this becomes a huge problem. If you already think you're 4 times weak to Ice, you are going to be 5 times weak to Ice due to the defense drop that this Shadow does. But obviously, damage-wise, it also does better. So it is a really good trade-off. But as long as you've got a few of them, you should be okay. And then let's move on to the last Pokemon here, which is Rayquaza. If you noticed a very key thing about this, all the weaknesses are the same. They seem to make Dragon and Flying the best typing out there for Dragon and the one that deals the most damage. Don't know why, they just seem to. So, Rayquaza has a max CP of 4,336 with an attack stat of 284, defense of 170, and stamina of 213. This is by far the best normal Dragon type Pokemon in the game. It has been for a very, very, very long time and will continue to be for a very, very, very long time. It is that good. So, same resistances as Salamence, same weaknesses as Salamence. And as you can see here, the moveset of Dragon Tail and Outrage does do the most damage and has the biggest survivability. However, the new move that came out with it recently, Breaking Swipe, also does make an entrance here at second with not that too much of a drop between DPS of Outrage. So it's also not a bad thing to have the new move on there as well. So, I'm actually going to leave this video here. I'm sorry that it's been a bit of a quicker one. I was hoping that this new style would be good. Please let me know if you do like it. I will try and do more in the future. However, please leave a comment. Who is your best dragon type Pokemon? And who is your favourite? 2 different questions. And if you do, please leave sub on channel. It would mean a lot to me. Thank you all, and I'll speak to you all in the next one.